What if I told you Beijing's skyline is a centuries-long engineering conversation between wood, earth, and steel? Behind the red gates and lacquered roofs are clever tricks for earthquakes, floods, and royal pageantry. From a palace built with 1,000,000 wooden pieces to a modern stadium made of 100,000 tons of steel, this city is where tradition learns to bend instead of break. Let's walk the axis of power and uncover the hidden engineering that keeps Beijing standing and sounding like no other capital. From the city's imperial axis, we step into a forest of timber and golden roofs, where ceremony meets structural genius. Imagine a rectangle almost a kilometer long and 3/4 of a kilometer across, sitting on a raised platform with a moat around it. That's the Forbidden City. Built in the early 1400s, its secret isn't height but how it handles motion. Over 1,000,000 pieces of timber, glazed tiles in blazing yellow, and marble terraces form a system that behaves like a giant wooden box with built-in shock absorbers. The interlocking dugong brackets pass heavy roof loads sideways and down to thick nanmu columns, while rammed earth foundations and brick bases spread the weight across 720,000 square meters. Those famous corner towers, they're not just decorative. Each is a compact 9-beam, 18-column structure that stabilizes the walls against wind and earthquakes. On days of ceremony, thousands gather in the outer court, and the whole complex reads like a tuned instrument. Every beam, tile, and step terrace designed for ritual, sightlines, and surprising resilience. Leave the palace axis for the ridgeline, where landscape becomes fortification and every stone fights the weather. Walk the Mutianyu section and you feel the wall as a machine made of earth and stone. Around 5.4 kilometers long here, usually 7-8 meters tall, with a 5-meter foundation and a top walkway wide enough to march 5 abreast. Its trapezoidal profile, thick at the base, narrower at the top, is the medieval answer to stability. Gravity presses it down while the mass resists sideways wind and seismic pushes. Watchtowers every 100-200 meters act like buttresses and lookout posts, 10-14 meters tall with internal floors and embrasures. The construction used an estimated millions of cubic meters of stone and brick, tamped earth cores, and clever drainage channels so rain doesn't turn the wall into mush. On windy days, the wall feels like a spine along the hills. In storms, its shape and weight simply push back. Mutianyu is defense turned into landscape choreography, functional, massive, and built to endure. From stone walls to sacred blue domes, we move from defense to ritual, where sound and structure meet. The Temple of Heaven's Hall of Prayer for Good Harvests looks delicate, but structurally it's a marvel. A 3-tiered circular wooden hall about 38 meters tall sits on a white marble platform, its blue glazed roof tiles representing the sky. Here there are no nails. Wooden beams and nanmu columns locked together with dugong brackets create a frame that flexes like a living puzzle. That flexibility is the key. During quakes, the joints absorb motion instead of cracking. The geometry matters too. The circular plan and concentric columns channel both gravity and sound. Step inside, and you'll notice how voices carry toward the center, part ritual, part acoustic design. Around the open circular mound altar, the stones and terraces are laid to manage water and processions. This is a temple where engineering supports cosmology, balance, sound, and ceremony, all solved with timber and precise geometry. If you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more city deep dives. Now trade the sacred axis for a landscape stage, where artificial hills and lakes choreograph architecture and water. The Summer Palace is a staged landscape, an artificial longevity hill rising about 60 meters beside Kunming Lake's 2.2 square kilometers of water. Engineers and gardeners here built views into the structure. A 728-meter-long corridor strings 273 bays like a theatrical set, while the 17-arch stone bridge spans the lake in a rhythmic sequence of arches that handle lateral thrust with elegant geometry. The Tower of Buddhist Incense, some 41 meters high, perches like a lookout, and is an octagonal timber frame designed to shed wind loads down through columns into stone foundations. The lake itself is shallow, about 1.5 meters deep, acting as both ornament and an ancient stormwater tank, calming runoff and feeding the palace's drainage. Timber, stone, and earthwork combine. Flexible wooden joints resist shocks, stone arches balance sideways thrust, And the whole landscape reads like a hydraulic theater where structure, water, and sightlines were engineered to delight and endure. Finally, leap to modern Beijing, where 20th century steel weaves tradition into a new kind of structural poetry. The bird's nest looks chaotic up close, but structurally it's a carefully choreographed weave. About 69 meters tall, 330 by 220 meters across, its iconic steel shell is composed of tens of thousands of interlaced members, roughly 110,000 tons of steel in total, sitting on a piled raft foundation that spreads loads into the ground. The outer lattice acts like a giant basket. Arches and trusses pass gravity to columns and down to piles, while the roof opening, nearly 100 by 155 meters, lets daylight into the bowl. Engineers designed the stadium to resist strong winds and even an 8-magnitude quake, using redundancies so if one member yields, others pick up the load. Think of it as a team carrying a heavy rug where everyone shares the weight. It's modern technology playing the same game ancient builders faced. Move the forces predictably into the earth while making something unforgettable to look at. Beijing's engineering language mixes flexible timber, massive earthworks, and monstrous steel. From moated palaces that breathe with the wind to a modern stadium that shares load like a team, the city teaches resilience as a craft. Which city should we dissect next? Another ancient capital or a futuristic skyline? Tell us in the comments.